bvshealth.com/investor day.
From Lake Mississippi to Big Green and everything in between, we're talking about what's happening in your hometown. This is Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Good morning and welcome into Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Wally Lukashenski and Kale Zomer up in the WBEV studio with you this morning. And Hometown Today is presented by Professional Floor Covering. It's also brought to you by our friends over at McKinsey's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. Randy and his team over at Professional Floor Covering, they're here to help you design the perfect space. They have over 1,000 samples of carpet, LVP, hardwood, tile, area rugs, and window finishings, but it is so much more than floors. They have a wide selection of kitchen and bathroom countertops, cabinets, tile, shower inserts, and more. You know I love talking about the countertops. When you walk into a room, it's one of the first things you're going to see. Whether it's a bathroom or a kitchen, the material, the color, the pattern of that countertop, they all play a major role in how a remodel will turn out. And they offer a large selection of quartz, granite, marble, and laminate countertops as well. And they're here to help you find the perfect one that fits both your lifestyle and your design. Professional Floor Coverings at Abbey Design Center. You can find them at 713 Park Avenue in Beaver Dam or online at PROFLR.com. It is that time of the month again. We have UW Extension Dodge County in the building. And with us today, we have Will Fullwider, the regional crops educator with UW Extension. And then we have Aaron Zolke, a co-owner of Ag Unlimited. I want to thank you both, first of all, for joining us here today. I already feel like I've learned a lot in the last 15 minutes because I walked in today. I'm like, guys, I don't know how much I know about this much agriculture in depth. So thank you for being here. I think you're going to enlighten a lot of people like you already have me.
Happy to be here.
Of course. Well, I want to start, first of all, with this marriage here between UW Extension Dodge County and Ag Unlimited. How did that come to be, and what are we trying to accomplish these days?
Yeah, I can start us off, and Aaron can fill in a bit. So the story here is the county owns some land by the airport, surrounding the airport, and some county supervisors a couple years ago had gone down to the Rock County farm to see what was going on there, which is a collaboration between the county conservation department and UW Extension. There's some small plot research that's done there by UW Extension specialists that come down from Madison and do their research there, in addition to other locations across the state. And they're like, this is really cool. We want to bring this research, this really important research, to Dodge County because local research and doing it on our soils and in our context provides a lot more to Dodge County farmers than doing it in another place. So they wanted to bring that kind of approach to Dodge County. And the approach that we decided to go with was, rather than saying UW Extension specialists, come from Madison, do your plots here on the county-owned land, was let's kick it back to the farmers and see what do they propose as the research that they want to see on the land. And UW Extension specialists and I can layer research or approaches on top of that. We can gather samples, we can gather data on top of the research that the farmer themselves are kind of proposing. So that's how the initial kind of step we took. And Aaron and his partner Andy, business partner Andy, had proposed a really robust research plan. Was really excited about that. So that is the proposal that the county board ended up going with.
Well, I would love to hear a little bit about this proposal. And before we even dive into that, Aaron, I would love to find out what made you decide that this is something that you wanted to pursue and that you had a fun, creative idea that's going to help out not only yourself, but help out UW Extension as well.
Yeah, so Andy and I are new farmers. We got started, I guess the optimist could say a blank sheet of paper, the pessimist could say with no instructions, right? So we've got a lot of research and decisions that we've done on our farm if we've grown. So we love the opportunity to test new things, learn new things. So when I heard about the opportunity with UW Extension in Dodge County, I really wanted to jump on it. And I thought to myself, well, what research would I want to learn? And there's a lot of research out there done in public institutions, private companies, but it's all testing usually a very specific process or specific item. And one of the frustrations I have is when we brought that information to our farm and applied it, we didn't get the same results. And we really started understanding farming is a system. What works for your neighbor won't work for you, and what works for you won't work for your neighbor. And so I started to realize we need to take a holistic approach to this and actually test out a system and not all these individual steps that could be done. Now, Dodge County, I believe, a lot of this was kind of driven by the conservation group also. The airport was always kind of a proponent for the conservation farming demonstration of Dodge County. So, and we're a conservation farm too. We've been no-till almost ever since the beginning. And so we wanted to take an opportunity to say, what research could we do that I want to see that's conservation based? And I said, we need to show Dodge County producers that conservation farming can be competitive for them. And I said, there's a lot of different producers in Dodge County. We've got producers that are low input producers, starting farmers, small farmers, et cetera. We want to demonstrate to them that we can optimize a system for their conservation farming. We've got producers that are, university run-of-the-mill, and we're going to follow it by the book. We want to set that benchmark and say, here's a conservation plan for those producers. And then we've got our performance croppers, guys that are concerned, will conservation farming hurt my yields? Will it economically impact me? So we want to do a setup for them also. And it allows us to take those three groups of farmers, do an economic comparison to say, here's a conservation system that's got industry experts, university representatives, adding their ideas into it. Here's a system and how it works for you.
Dare I say, for somebody that says that they were basically given the blank page with no instructions, you seem to be figuring it out pretty quickly. I was going to say, you both very well spoken on this. It's one of the things I was so excited about bringing you guys on today. When I started working on a vegetable farm about 10 years ago when I was in school, myself and I think a lot of people thought it's like, farming is like the easiest thing in the world. You're going to go out there, you're going to plant your seed, whatever, take the stuff when it's done, it's over. It is such a science, and there is so much behind it year to year that changes as well. It's fascinating that you guys have something like this planned. We do have to take a break, but when we come back, I want to dive more into what this looks like, what we're actually going to see throughout it, and how long this study, this trial is actually going to go. But that's going to be next year on Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Wisconsin, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Oh, I'm so sad. I'm Wally, and I'm just so sad.
What's got you feeling so down, Wally?
Oh, hey, Randy from Professional Floor Covering. I spent my new radio money on a mansion, but the floors look like a bad Facebook Marketplace ad. How am I supposed to spend all winter staring at this?
Well, wipe those tears, my dear Wally. At Professional Floor Covering, we have the perfect solution for your mansion mayhem, like a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, LVP tile, and more. We'll measure and provide the design suggestions, all at prices you'll love. Need more than flooring? Get brand new cabinets and countertops or a luxurious shower or tub conversion. Professional Floor Covering has everything you need to transform your space before you're shut in for the winter.
Randy, you're a hero.
That's quite the exaggeration, Wally. But when it comes to the selection at Professional Floor Covering, there's no embellishment when we say we'll find you everything. Just visit PROFLR.com or our showroom in Beaver Dam today and see for yourself.
The Summit Automotive year-end sale is on. Over 500 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, and more than 100 new Fords, all in stock and ready to roll. Locally and family owned, voted best of Dodge County. Visit me, Cody Linsenmeyer, at Summit Automotive Ford in Beaver Dam. We're driven by you.
The holidays are filled with joy and gratitude. I'm Aaron Bischoff, your local Edward Jones financial advisor, and I am grateful for your support and friendship this holiday season. If you're looking for help reaching your financial goals in 2026 and beyond, contact me now at 920-885-4885 to learn more. I'm your local Edward Jones financial advisor, located downtown Beaver Dam on the corner of Front and Center Street. We wish you and yours a happy holiday and a wonderful new year. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Discover McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam and make this your best Christmas ever. Hi, this is Sandy. We are having a store-wide holiday sale. This Christmas, give yourself or someone special a gift for the home. You can choose from over 100 Lazy Bar recliners in stock and ready for prompt delivery. Prices start at $399. We have a selection of Christmas doormats for $9 each. Give the gift of time with a wall or tabletop clock. Tabletop clocks start at $39. Brighten up that dark corner with a decorative table or floor lamp. Mini Tiffany lamps are on sale for $99. Make this your best Christmas ever with gifts for the home. Shop the holiday sale at McKinstry's Home Furnishings, celebrating Christmas in downtown Beaver Dam for 167 years. Sale ends December 23rd.
At Prairie Ridge Health, our rehab team is here to help you restore mobility, regain independence, and get back to doing what you love. With state-of-the-art facilities and a compassionate team of physical and occupational therapists, we're proud to serve our communities in Columbus, Beaver Dam, and Sun Prairie. Early morning and evening appointments are available. Schedule a visit today at prairieridge.health. Prairie Ridge Health, inspired by you.
Hey, it's Randy from Professional Floor Covering, bringing together friends and neighbors on Hometown Today on your hometown station, 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
And welcome back to Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Hometown Today is brought to you by Professional Floor Covering. It's also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. Very excited this morning. We are joined with UW Extension Dodge County, and we are joined by Ag Unlimited. But before we get back to that, I think they're going to be just as excited about this news as I am, because we have got a pipeline to the North Pole, guys. This is a big deal. You can write a letter to Santa letting him know what you would like for Christmas this year. Drop your letter off at Santa's mailbox at Swan Park Rotary Lights in Beaver Dam. That's 316 East South Street. I know Ashley Dobrzinski, Charlie Dern, and myself were over there last night checking out the lights. Bring your letter out there and drop it in that mailbox, and Santa will read your letter on 95.3 WBEV. Doesn't get any easier than that. We got to give a huge thank you to the people that found this pipeline and got Santa involved here in Dodge County, that being Cassandra Schmidt of Modern Woodmen of America, one of the best people in Dodge County, and of course, Bayside Supper Club. So huge thanks to them, and make sure you get that letter out there, because there's not a lot of time left for those elves up at the North Pole to make your gift. So you got to make sure you get that going right. But now we got to get back to talking some farming here, and we got some very intelligent individuals here to my right to help me do that. We have Will Fullwider, the regional crops educator with UW Extension Dodge County, and we have Aaron Zolke, the co-owner of Ag Unlimited. You guys have already blown my mind a couple times so far today. But I would like to dive into a little bit more of the specifics of what this actually looks like. So I think we'll start with Aaron and work our way back. Aaron, specifically with you, you're working on almost 3 different ambitious projects to figure out for different type of farming each year. Can you tell us what you're actually physically doing with this? What does this look like from an actual intelligence collection agent?
Yeah, so you want to talk about kind of what we're doing on those 3 different types of plots?
I would love to, because I am clueless right now, Aaron.
Yeah, so breaking it down again, you've got a value type plot, a UW type plot, and performance plot. And again, what those plots are aimed for is they're aimed to hit a specific type of management style that we would find producers using in Dodge County. So, for example, if you're a value producer, what we're going to be looking to do is make decisions that minimize capital investments, minimize investments in, fertilizer outputs to be able to push it, try to lower grain drying cost, maybe reduce a pass of herbicide on there or fungicide as needed. And you're going to get a lower yield coming out of that plot. But farming's not just about yield, it's about economics, right?
Absolutely.
And so can we work together with UW and get a system together with that low investment that still produces good economic results that can be competitive and uses conservation practices. That's a big point for us, using the no-till practices, minimizing, any kind of damage that we're doing to the soil along the way.
How long does this study? Is this a 1 year, go through the full calendar year thing, or is this you stretch it out over a few to figure out how things are affected year to year?
Great question. So there's two parts to that. So the answer is both. So the first part is this study's not a fixed study every year. It says, here's what we're doing. What are the results after 4 years? It's a live study where we can look at what we did and said, how can we change this and make things better, right, for each one of those categories? However, there is always concern of a farmer, as Will was talking about your fertility bank earlier on. And are you damaging your soil or using up for fertility? Or on the performance side, are we over applying? Are we have concerns of runoff considerations, et cetera, from excessive fertilizers? So the study's actually set up that over the 4-year period, we replicate the study in one part of the farm where it keeps the rotation the same. So every year the performance plot stays the performance plot, budget stays budget, UW stays UW. There's another replication on another part of the farm where we flip those every year. So the section that was previously performance, we're now using as the UW, and the next year will be used as the budget. And what that allows it to do is we can look at it and say after 4 years, continually cropping these systems year after year versus rotating them, it lets us understand if we're seeing any of these deviations in yield or fertility levels as a result of the processes, or are those changes coming based on the decisions that we're making and not the long-term effects.
Wow, that is fascinating. Well, and I got to imagine for you, Will, this has got to be so exciting to have so many people like Aaron that are involved with so many creative ideas, but this isn't just the only thing that you have going on. The way you described it to me before the show is there are plenty of these studies that are going. You kind of let the farmers choose what they want to dive into.
Well, I mean, one of the things that's interesting about this is the approach that we've taken where the farmers did propose the research and it's being done at a systems level, at a field scale level. A lot of the research that I do is single strips in a field because the farmer's taking on risk doing research because they don't know what's going to happen,
Absolutely.
Right? So when I do research on farms, I really try and scale it down. So we're only taking a couple acres here, a couple acres there. But what's cool about the approach that Aaron and Andy are doing is it's at a full field scale level. And that's when farmers are thinking about how they're managing their farms, it's at this field scale. It's not a strip by strip. So to farmers in the county, this is a lot more applicable, a lot more practical because they're like, okay, this is how I'm managing, this is a scale on which I'm managing my farm. So this type of approach makes a lot more sense to me. I'm not trying to belittle my own research, but it's this kind of teeter-totter of risk and kind of trying to make it applicable to farmers. And so what's cool about this partnership is it allows the farmer to take on that responsibility and be like, I know the risks of doing this. And do it at that field, at that scale level, and the county also having an investment in those results and having that county local research.
Well, what made you decide to take under the risk of doing this? Because that's a good, unique way to look at it. I don't think a lot of people realize doing research like this, there is a risk on your end from your side to actually be willing to push yourself and do that. Where was the motivation to do that?
Well, I would re-term the word risk as opportunity.
Nicely done.
We're doing research, like I mentioned earlier, on our farm across all our acres. I mean, when we plant the field, it's got multiple hybrids across that whole field. Instead of you could do like a test plot, like Will's saying, where we do a hybrid by hybrid by hybrid, all right next to each other, the signs you see on the side of the field. We like to do it across the whole field spread out, right? Because that's what gives us the good average data we need. And so just mentioning, how that we're always doing that testing. That risk is always there, but that risk always comes with the opportunity of being able to do better. And so what I really felt was great to latch onto with this opportunity was able to connect with a group of people, Will, crop consultants, the local community, et cetera. And now selfishly, I'm like, I want this research to apply. How can I do better for our farm? And we can't find ways to do better unless we take those risks to try something new.
Well, I have very similar but very different questions for each of you. Because I'm interested from a UW Extension perspective, how long you plan on doing things like this with these kind of studies, with letting the farmers really draft the proposal. I guess we'll start there, and I'll come back with the similar but different question for you, Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, the research I do on farms is a huge part of my programming as a regional crops educator. It really pushes the type of work and the type of education I ended up doing, because I keep on coming back to this, that local results are so important. It's not the research that's done at the Arlington Ag Research Stations, which has these beautiful, deep, super fertile soils. And they're like, not to say that those aren't great, but those are results that aren't as applicable to every single corner of Wisconsin. And so the more research that we're able to do with farmers on their own field gives those local results that are more widely applicable to that specific area. So in working on that, I have farmers that come up with the idea themselves. They're like, hey, Will, I have this idea. Can we do it? I'm like, yes, let's do it. Absolutely. Here's some protocols. Here's how we can put some research spin on it. Let's do that. And then I work with that farmer to say, okay, to what extent do you want to explore this, more or less? How willing are you to take that risk and opportunity if you're going to do it on 20 acres versus on 1 acre, right? And then also, how many replications do you want to take? How long do you want to invest in this? And so some, it's just a kind of one-off single year thing, being like, let's explore this. It didn't work. It might be useful to do it another year because there's soil variabilities. There's a lot of weather variability we've seen in the last couple of years. So that's that aspect. And they're like, no, I think I got it. I can be good from here. Or it's something that, I come up with the idea and I'm like, pitch it out to farmers. And I'm like, hey, farmers, like, is there anyone that's interested in this? And some people are like, sure, let's do it. And then maybe that's a 1 year thing, or maybe that's 3 years down the road. We've been doing it for several years and we're able to kind of capture this weather variability and show, are we getting the same results year after year, or is it changing? And then we can say, is this a recommendation that we can make to other farmers in the area?
Well, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a specific study, but there are then almost dozens and dozens of these that are happening at some points. Some wrap up, others are opening. So it's an ever-evolving study, opposed to like, hey, in 5 years, I'm going to have a sheet of paper with what we learned from all of this as a blanket statement.
Totally. And, the longer they run, the more kind of concrete recommendations you can make because it captures that variability year to year. So let's say they were doing this for 1 year and we had a really dry year. Let's say it's 2026. Wow, it's 2026.
We're literally, 3 weeks away from that?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Stop that.
2026 growing year, Aaron's only doing it for 1 year. It's super dry and we have some results and we're like, okay, now we're going to make recommendations based off of this, and then 2027, it's super wet. Not to say those recommendations are thrown out the window, but we're not really doing it in a wet year that would change all of that. So the long-term studies, 4 years, 5 years, those are awesome because those capture that variability. And like you were saying, there's studies going on all the time that are 1 year, 2 years that are valuable studies, but they're not capturing that long-term variability that we're looking with Aaron's study. And what I think is interesting about this is, like I mentioned earlier, there's UW research going on county farms, on research stations all across the state, but it's not farmer driven to the same extent that this is, which is really, I think that this is unique in the state, is this kind of really farmer driven approach that is a collaboration between UW Extension, the conservation department, and the farmer group.
See, I've got sports brain. It's my problem. So, the way I had to map it out in my head is like, all right, 2nd and 1, maybe you have to run the ball. But on 3rd and 15, you don't want to run the ball anymore. You got to throw it. So it's going to change depending on those variables that are occurring in the year. And that's a way to, throughout time, figure out ways to have more concrete ways. It's a dry year. This is what we want to do. Hey, it's a wet year. We're going to want to do that. That's a really good way to look at it. Right before we go to break, I do want to ask you my same but different question for you. How early are we in the study for your angle over there at Ag Unlimited?
Well, it's kind of hard to answer because, like I said, I mean, study is just ongoing. I don't think there is such a thing as entering or ending a study in farming. I mean, it's continually evolving. It simply is probably more of my learning process and what I'm testing out evolves. And so this is just a step in that evolvement, which is, again, bringing those people and those practices. But even when this study were to end over there at Dodge County, shall not continue past the existing proposal, et cetera, it'll continue to be done on our farm, right? And so what we're going to do is take what we learned there, and we're just going to continue to perfect. My phrase to Andrew all the time, and I'm sure this probably drives everybody nuts, our agronomists, our seed suppliers, et cetera, is I see anything that was wrong, my question is, what we'll get past it, what was wrong, because I can't make that same mistake again, right? And you pretty much never stop asking yourself that in farming. I just real quick had one more comment I want to add. You were talking about like the dry years, things like that, the hard cropping years where you don't get the good data. Those, while the bank account doesn't like it, personally I love those years because you know what, when you're doing something wrong, it shows up in the bad years, right? Like if all you had is good year after good year, you never find out where your shortcomings are. And then, you spend all these years doing those bad processes where they're getting covered up by good weather, et cetera. I want somebody to break what I'm doing so that I can make that positive change next season.
It's fascinating because it goes back to what you said with the risk is actually an opportunity. Where in a bad year, you can also view that as a learning opportunity.
Exactly. That's the perfect way to look at it.
I love that. Well, I know we're late for a break, but I'm getting carried away right now. I'm having a lot of fun. So we are going to go to break, but when we come back, we got to continue learning about what's going on because I got to ask you guys, it is cold outside. I know there's snow on the ground. I'm interested what happens this time of year with the data collection, or is this more of a research look back at what we've done? But we'll find out on the other side of the break here on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Reaction continuing to come into the U.S. seizure of an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. ABC Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz says the move is a major escalation in an already volatile standoff.
Sources telling ABC News the tanker called the Skipper was heading for Cuba. It was previously sanctioned under a different name back in 2022, and satellite images show the tanker loading crude oil at Venezuela's Jose oil terminal just last month.
The Senate is poised today to reject legislation to extend Affordable Care Act tax credits for millions of Americans. It's also expected to reject a Senate Republican plan. Premiums for 20 million people on Obamacare currently are due to jump drastically in just a couple of weeks. The Walt Disney Company, parent of ABC News, has entered into an agreement with OpenAI to let hundreds of Disney characters be used on the company's video creation site, Sora. Disney also pumping $1 billion into OpenAI as an investment. This is ABC News.
Catch Z's with Slumberland and catch all the excitement happening at 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge, on now at the Slumberland Furniture Studio.
Today's news and sports headlines are brought to you by Prairie Ridge Health. They're here for every age and stage of life. Find more information at prairieridge.health.
From the Daily Dodge News Center, I'm Terry Bell. An environmental group is suing the Wisconsin Public Service Commission to try to force more transparency about Meta's billion-dollar AI data center in Beaver Dam. Midwest environmental advocates asked the PSC for information about the data center's projected energy use in October. The PSC declined, so now the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports the group is going to court. A woman from Brookfield is dead after a 3-vehicle chain reaction crash on Highway 49 near Leroy yesterday morning. It happened at about 8:30 near County Double Y. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office says one vehicle lost control in slippery conditions and collided with 2 other vehicles, including a semi. Highway 49 had to be closed for roughly 6 hours. Slender Man stabber Morgan Geyser is no longer in the Waukesha County Jail, but we don't know for sure where she is. Geyser's lawyer has asked that she go back to the Winnebago Mental Health Institute. Geyser was arrested near Chicago last month after she escaped from a Madison group home. There are now 9 Democrats running for Wisconsin governor. Joel Brennan is president of the Greater Milwaukee Committee. He's a longtime figure in Wisconsin's public, nonprofit, and business sectors. There are 3 Republicans in the race. The primary is August 11th. A big win for a wildlife sanctuary in Washington County. The town of Farmington Board passed an amendment to its zoning code this week, which now permits the Shalom Wildlife Sanctuary to engage in zoological activities. Meanwhile, 2 neighbors are suing to shut the zoo down. That case is still pending. I'm Terry Bell reporting from the Daily Dodge News Center. Submit your news tips at DailyDodge.com.
Award-winning news you can count on. WBEV.
In sports, the Beaver Dam boys basketball team heads to Wanakee tonight. Both teams are 2-0 on the season. You can hear the game exclusively on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock. Number 23, Nebraska blew out the Badger men's basketball team 90-60 in Lincoln last night. Nick Boyd had 20 points for the Badgers. They're off until December 19th when they face Villanova at Fiserv. Bucks host the Celtics tonight at Fiserv Forum. Coverage begins at 6:30 on 95.3. Another practice day for the Packers as they get ready for the Denver Broncos Sunday in the Mile High City. That's a 3:25 kickoff. The Badger women's volleyball team faces Stanford tomorrow in Texas in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. First serve is at 1:30 on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. That's your Daily Dodge Sports Center on 95.3 WBEV.
Looking for a new doctor? Prairie Ridge Health's family medicine team is welcoming new patients in Beaver Dam, Columbus, Marshall, and Sun Prairie. From wellness checks to managing chronic conditions, we are here to care for you at every age and every stage of life. Meet our providers and schedule an appointment at prairieridge.health or call 920-623-1200. Prairie Ridge Health, inspired by you.
Today's news and sports headlines were brought to you by Prairie Ridge Health. They're here for every age and stage of life. Find more information at prairieridge.health.
Get the latest news from around the nation and around the world on the ABC News page at DailyDodge.com. Presented by QBS Law.
High temperatures reach up to 19. Today, under cloudy skies, winds out of the west around 5 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 5 above. Tonight, cloudy. Chance for snow tomorrow, highs level off around 22, mainly cloudy. Mainly cloudy skies Saturday with daytime highs approaching 2 above, 5 above Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Right now, 12.
Save big on everything now at Menards. When updating your home with a fresh coat of paint, be sure to use Frog Tape Advanced. It's a premium multi-surface tape with a thin, strong paper backing, allowing you to tape around contours without tearing. Get a 45-yard roll on sale for $8.99. Good through December 14th. View our entire selection of paint and accessories today on Menards.com. Plus our weekly flyer for more great deals happening now.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
This time of the year gets busy fast, so let the market at Beaver Dam make mealtime easy. Enjoy a slow roasted Angus Pride boneless beef rump roast for $5.99 a pound, or try golden plump chicken leg quarters at just $1.49 a pound. Crushed Mar deli sliced ham, $5.99 a pound, pairs perfectly with warm Granny's Bakery sourdough loaves for $2.99. Keep fresh navel oranges on hand, $4.99 for a 4-pound bag, and pick up a Brew Pub Latza Matza pizza for only $4.99. Shop local and save big at the market at Beaver Dam.
Since 1998, the Good Karma Brand's John Moser Children's Radiothon has distributed nearly $3 million to nonprofit organizations serving children in Dodge County and the surrounding areas. You can help make a difference by getting involved today. Help support the cause by donating an item to our 27-hour on-air live auction, hosting a fundraiser event, or making a monetary donation through Venmo. To learn more, visit dailydodge.com/radiothon.
Get the help you need with Skill Power Tools from Menards. They're built for power, precision, and portability. From drills and drivers to sanders and saws, Skill delivers performance and durability with the convenience of cordless technology. Plus, the PowerCore 20 battery powers every Skill 20-volt tool for ultimate versatility. Save big on all Skill Power Tools at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for great deals happening now.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Hi, it's Randy from Professional Floor Covering, bringing you Hometown Today on your hometown station, 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Welcome back to Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Hometown Today is presented by Professional Floor Covering, also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. Christmas shopping in downtown Beaver Dam and going to McKinstry's Home Furnishings to get that special gift, as that brings back some special memories. At McKinstry's, they're celebrating their 167th Christmas in downtown Beaver Dam. And how are they celebrating? Well, they're doing it with a big old store-wide holiday sale. They invite you to make your Christmas memories by offering you 6 floors of great gifts for the holidays. Gift ideas include Christmas pillows for just $15, lighted Christmas pictures starting at $9. Create new memories by giving a Tiffany lamp, an area rug, or a curio cabinet. Many Tiffany lamps are just $99, and they've got over 100 Lazy Boy recliners in stock and ready to go just in time for Christmas. Lift chairs also make great gifts, and they start at just $499. So head to McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam and save big during their holiday sale. But hurry in, sale ends December 23rd. We head back down to the Daily Dodge TV studio and more with Wally.
Thank you very much, Kale. I'm having a blast this morning. We have UW Extension Dodge County in the house with the regional crops educator, Will Fullwider, and we have Aaron Zolke, the co-owner of Ag Unlimited. Two very bright minds right here that I am enjoying just picking a little bit. And I teased it before we went into the break, talking about the studies that we have ongoing. I'm curious because we do live in Wisconsin. You look outside, it's going to be negative 30 with the wind chill on Saturday.
Yikes.
So I'm curious, this time of year, what does the study look like? I can't imagine the field is accessible and what we're going to be able to be diving into. So what are we doing in these winter months?
Yeah, I'd be happy to jump into that. If you'll ask my wife, the winter months don't mean any more time for her. Instead of sitting in a tractor, I'm sitting on the couch with a laptop, right? But what we've been working on heavily here and focusing on this research plot is pull all the data off the years before. We pull all the yield monitor maps off the combine, the application maps off the sprayer, planting maps, looking at population, singulation, et cetera. And we layer them all together in the computer and we say, okay, what did we learn this year, right? As we were talking before. And so we'll take all that data and we'll say, these were good decisions, these were bad decisions, let's improve. And then we make our plan for the next season. So we've been working a lot with our seed rep here, talking about the airport and saying we've got these 3 different plot styles, right? And one of the planning things you would do, a big part of planning, is hybrid selection for whatever crop you grow, corn specifically as a myriad of products you could choose from. Well, some of the things we got to look at is we look at the cropping history that was done over there on that farm, 8 years of corn on corn, so we got to find a proper genetic to be able to have our rootworm resistance going in there. We look at it and say, what do we want to get from a performance? So when we look at our value plots, we go for shorter hybrids that the shorter maturity doesn't have as much of an impact to no starter, because that's one of our cost-cutting measures on a value. And it also allows us to try to get a little drier grain. We go to our performance plot. We want what you call a racehorse hybrid. So that hybrid there, the more you throw at it, the higher and higher its peak of yield can be able to get. But at the same point of time, you don't want to plant it on a sub-ideal ground, because it just isn't going to perform like a workhorse hybrid that we'll put in the other plots. So we look at fields individually, such as these plots individually, and we say, okay, what do we want to plan for fertility? What do we want to plan for hybrids? And when we look at the hybrids, those packages can change what we need to put on there for other treatments, such as fungicides or herbicides. All these crops respond differently to those sort of applications. So then we got to plan applications out for each of those different methods. And this isn't just the airport. People have to do this across their whole farm, right? They've got their non-ideal fields that they know, I want to just make a workhorse out of that field, economically maximize it, and I've got this great field over here. I need different hybrids, different fertility, different applications, again, searching for that maximum economic point. That's what your winter months are spent doing.
And what's cool about the approach that Aaron just said is it's not just in these different plots on this farm, or it's a low input farmer or a performance farmer. This could be all in one farm itself, where it's like, okay, this low input method that we're kind of testing at the airport farm is 1/4 of one farmer's fields, because it's like those lower fertility soils. It's not the huge investment they want to make in chasing yield. So it's not just for this farmer. For this farmer, it could be for this field on one farmer's property and for another field. So it's kind of covering a lot of the bases by taking this approach, which is really neat.
Well, and I know out here in Dodge County, we are a rural community. We have a lot of farmers that are right here in Dodge County, right here in Beaver Dam. For people that are listening to this right now, they're like, this is fascinating. I'd love to know some of these results down the road. What is the plan to like have this be publicly accessible knowledge? Is there a plan at this point for farmers and other people to learn about what's going on and what we're learning?
Yeah, absolutely. While Aaron's sitting on the couch with his computer figuring out what hybrids to use, which I am also part of that conversation, not sitting on the couch with him, but I have been trying to run all the data from my studies, but also preparing presentations, because the winner for me is driving around my region and giving presentations and doing workshops and, being that kind of public-facing outreach part of Extension that is a large part of my job. And so it's not just doing the research and being like, okay, this was great, now let's write up a little report and just send it out into space, right? You have to meet people where they're at, go to their meetings, present at their workshops to be able to say, hey, here's the research that we've done over several years, here's the numbers that we have, and entertain those questions that people will inevitably have. And
people, I was going to say, if they know Will Fullwider now, they're like, if they look up your name, is there going to be something that says where Will is going to be, where he's going to be presenting? Because I got to know what's going on.
If I was better at social media, I would have this whole trail of all the things. Man. Yeah, no, I'm not great at that. But what is a great opportunity is we have different farmer-led groups that have annual meetings every year in Dodge County, and they organize and they bring in the farmers. And I've had the opportunity to present at those conferences, at those workshops several different times. I imagine, after a year of data, a lot of farmers in Dodge County will want to hear what's going on there, what have you found, what are the approaches that you've taken. And I imagine some of those meetings would be great places, great venues to be able to present some of that data. So come this time next year, Aaron and I will be sitting down with that first year of data, crunching the numbers, and trying to meld that into a presentation that I will give, Aaron will give, Andy will give, and we'll kind of work together on making that outreach section of it, along with some field days during the summertime to show people kind of on the farm what is happening here.
Well, and you remember talking to me a little bit during the break about field days. So is that an opportunity for anybody or farmers to come out and actually see this in action on an actual farm where the studies are taking place?
Go for it.
Oh, okay, yes. So actually, last week we just drove around with Phil over there at the airport, and we selected an area where we can plant some grass, make some parkways for everybody. But what we want to do is we want to invite the farmers out, invite the industry professionals out there, and actually where we selected this spot to host the field day, it's very neat, between two fields. So we can have one field facing corn, one field facing beans, and you can see right into those fields side by side. Here are our three methods. Let's talk about some of the challenges we've had getting through up to this point, some of the things that we're going to try to do to finish out the season. They can physically look at the crop, see the differences in the crop, but the big thing is just do that networking, get those right people there to share that information with them and kind of wet their whistle, if you want to say, to find out, hey, what was the result of this study?
Well, I would love to ask, because we do only have a couple minutes left. I don't want to leave any meat on the bone here, so to speak. Is there anything that I haven't hit on or we would like to touch on or really hammer home to people that may not have been aware that this study was even going to be occurring?
I think one of the points that Aaron kind of brought up in that talking about field days was to get people there, wet their whistle, but also it's a forum. We're here to also take ideas and suggestions about what should continually be studied. It's a lot of acreage. Aaron and Andy have been really receptive to different ideas about what approaches should we use. So I really think of it as, and Aaron had mentioned this earlier, as an iterative model, that we're not just doing one thing at the beginning and continuing it all the way through. Yeah, there's kind of going to be that core approach, but we can really build on top of that and really explore some of the questions that Dodge County farmers have. And so opening up these field days, making sure that everyone in the county knows about them, to be able to come and provide their ideas about what they want to see on this county-owned land.
Aaron, I'll let you have the final word today. From your perspective, anything that we need to hammer home or something that you would like to really touch on here as we wrap up?
No, I mean, I guess for anybody, listening out there and hearing about this, I want to make sure to invite you there. I want you to be involved in this data. Like Will said before, the reason we want to have transparency on it is because we want to help people. We want to make people more profitable at farming, do better for the environment, get conservation practices promoted out there. We're a big believer in all of that. So that's really what I want to drive home is I really see this as a community event where we can all get together, learn and do better from it.
I want to thank you both so much for being here. I have had a true blast learning as much as I feel like myself and a lot of people listening today have. So thank you for being here. I want to wish you both very, very happy holidays. Looking forward to getting you back next year and learning a little bit more.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to throw it to our final break today. When we come back, Kayla and I are going to wrap up the show and tell you what's going on here in Dodge County coming up in these coming days in the holiday season. That's next on Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Listen to Green Bay football all season long on 95.3 WBEV. Each game will announce a Columbus Family Dental Mystery Player of the Game. Remember who that mystery player is, then listen to the 95.3 WBEV morning show the next business day right around 8:15. Be the correct caller when we ask who was the Columbus Family Dental Mystery Player of the Game. Get it right and you'll win a Sonic Care toothbrush and be entered in the drawing for the end of the season mystery prize. It's the Mystery Player of the Game presented by Columbus Family Dental.
Exciting news! State Bank of Reeseville has brought that hometown banking experience to Beaver Dam. Enjoy more opportunities, more convenience, and more ways to support your dreams. From personal banking to business growth, State Bank is proud to invest in you because community is at the heart of everything they do. And they're growing their team. Openings are available for loan officers, processors, admin, and customer service reps. Learn more at statebankofreeseville.com/careers. State Bank of Reeseville. Local, trusted, and growing with you. Equal opportunity employer.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to ESPN NBA analyst Monica McNutt. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Brace yourselves. Winter is coming. Don't wait for the cold to hit. JB Mechanical is here with expert heating services for both homes and businesses, keeping you warm all season long. Want more control over your comfort? Ask them about programmable and Wi-Fi thermostats designed to fit your schedule and lifestyle. With flexible maintenance plans and financing options, staying cozy has never been easier or less stressful. Schedule your service today at jbmechllc.com. Proud to be your local train dealer because nothing runs like a train.
Estate planning and elder law can seem complicated. Anyone with children should listen, as Rob Mielek of Mielek Law offers easy to understand and easy to implement information and help. Listen the third Monday of each month as Rob discusses the importance of trust-based planning and affordable wills to protect your family. He even offers payment plans. Listen this Monday at 11:10 on your hometown station, 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
And welcome back to our True Crime Podcast. Our guest today is Sean Cleary.
Wait, what? We are supposed to be doing a commercial about Cleary's storage, ag, and sports facilities.
Great point, Sean. It was a warm summer evening in 1978 when a young man with a hammer...
Whoa! Again, not a true crime podcast. I want to talk about Cleary designing the building of your dreams.
In a world where things aren't what they seem.
Okay, give me that. Good grief. Visit ClearyBuilding.com today and experience the Cleary difference.
A stiff chair makes you sit. An X chair lets you float. Upgrade to an X chair, engineered for better posture and focus. The secret? Patented lumbar support that adjusts instantly. SciFloat Infinite Recline that moves effortlessly with you. X chair is next level ergonomic seating that truly floats. Right now, you can save up to 50% with the X Chair holiday sale. Supplies are limited, so visit xchair.com today for up to 50% off. That's xchair.com.
Christmas is just around the corner. Perhaps a wreath needs a new bow, fresh berries or pine cones, or that great centerpiece from last year may have slipped one way or another and just needs a little redoing. Bring your creations from years past into Jeans Beaver Floral, and their staff can assist you with a new bow, a fresh straight candle, a twist here or a change there, and make last year's look new for this year. And while you're having a little repair done on last year's Christmas trims, shop their great selection of new wreaths, miniature permanent trees, centerpieces, ribbons, and bows. If in-home assistance in decorating is what you need, call 885-3365 and arrange for an in-home consultation. And yes, the poinsettias are at Jeans Beaver Floral with Christmas just around the corner. Count on Jeans Beaver Floral to make Christmas decorating easy this year. They are located downtown, and their hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Saturday, 9 to 2.
Hey, this is Randy from Professional Floor Covering, welcoming you back to Hometown Today on your hometown station, 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
And welcome back to Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Hometown Today is presented by Professional Floor Covering. It's also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. Got to throw it to Kale because we got to learn what's going on.
Oh, my goodness. So many things going on, Wally. A couple of quick notes. I know last weekend was kind of the big weekend here in Beaver Dam, big holiday weekend, the Santa's Hometown Holiday Adventure, the parade, all that good stuff. More stuff coming up this weekend, too. I mean, they've got the Cocoa Walk and the bar crawl, the Jingle Mingle bar crawl. Mm-hmm. And Fox Lake has a big holiday weekend this weekend as well. They're doing all their events, and it's their December to Remember event. And it's going to be, I don't know if you've looked at the forecast, Wally.
I'm scared.
It's going to be a little cold.
Yeah.
It's going to be just a little bit cold, dangerously cold at that on the weekend especially. So parade, they're going to forego the parade this year on Saturday over there in Fox Lake, but all of the other indoor events still on as scheduled for Saturday. So get down there to Fox Lake and have a great Saturday. And big shout out, by the way, Wally, to the Beaver Dam and Watertown Elks Lodge. We talked to Rob Radig yesterday, and they're doing their big Christmas basket program. So Christmas Eve Day, the 24th, that morning, if you got some time around 8:30, 9 to 9:30, they could use some help. They could use some help either on the assembly line, it's all happening over at Summit Ford on North Spring Street, either packing the boxes for their Christmas boxes or helping deliver. And delivery, by the way, super easy. We didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday, but my family and I have done that before. It's super easy. You just head over there, you line up, you'll drive through their garage, they'll load everything into the car, they'll give you an address, tell you where to go, and you go out there, you drop it off. It's super simple, and we've packed the whole family, all the kids in the car, and done it. It's a lot of fun. So, again, the 24th, if you want to help pack baskets, that's 8:30. If you want to deliver, you can show up there about 9:30 or so. And then tomorrow, Wally, we're going to be talking with Mary from the Dodge County Center for the Arts, and they've got their big gift gallery going on right now. So if you're still doing that Christmas shopping and you're like, I don't know, I want to do, I don't want to just do the typical gift cards or whatever. You got to get something unique, special. You really want somebody to understand that you were really thinking of them. It's a great opportunity. Speaking of great opportunities, some high school basketball tonight.
Yes, of course. We got to talk about 2-0 Waunakee and 2-0 Beaver Dam meeting up in Waunakee tonight. You can hear that on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam at 7 o'clock. And then a huge shout out to the girls basketball team, number 1 in the Division II state rankings right now in the media poll of boundwisconsin.com. So hardwood success is the story here right now in Beaver Dam. So make sure you're sticking along for all of our fun high school coverage that we're going to continue to have across our stations here in Daily Dodge TV. But that's going to wrap us up today. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow talking with Mary Fitzgerald. That'll be then. Can't wait for another edition of Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
At Summit Auto.